What brings us together as humans? It's feelings, isn't it? We all feel, respond, and react emotionally to life's ups and downs. We deal with relationships and events all the time. Some we can cope with, some we can comprehend and find reasons for, and others can be really confusing and disturbing. These are some of the queries that challenge people in their everyday lives. In this series, I have attempted to address a few common issues that you may be dealing with, or you may know someone else who needs help with these questions. I'd like to remind you that there are no good or bad questions and no stupid people for asking them. There is no stigma attached to anyone who may be troubled because of these issues. This series is to help you or someone you know to get an inspirational and alternate view of some of the topics we are going to be talking about. These common issues, you may find that you relate to them too. So listen on.
Join spiritual psychologist and India's #1 biofeedback practitioner, Ritu Malhotra, as she guides you through the paths of self-discovery and personal transformation so that you can live in alignment with your values and purpose. This podcast is brought to you by Ajna Center for Learning. To know more about Ajna and connecting with the host, check out the links given in show notes. You are listening to the Cellular Alchemist podcast, and here's your host, Ritu Malhotra.
Letting go of a bad relationship. Sanjay is in a 30-year-old marriage which has turned sour, but he's unable to move away and seek a change. One of the most common issues amongst many of my clients is, how can I let go of this relationship that is clearly not good for me? How do I walk out of this negative relationship? Ending anything can be difficult, especially relationships, no matter how toxic they may have been. Recently, I was helping someone go through a divorce proceedings after a 20-year abusive marriage. When we actually went to court, she was crying helplessly. And it was evident to everyone how bereft she was at the finality of this situation, which ironically she had wanted and fought for almost 8 years. Yes, the emotion can be overwhelming because it symbolizes a finality, even a failure, almost like death. It's over. And that is tough to accept. And because it's tough, we avoid confronting the problem. So, I think awareness is the first step. However tough it is, it's important to be honest with yourself. Is the relationship detrimental to your self-esteem? Ask yourself, is it helping me grow as a person? Or even if it doesn't support your growth, does it hinder or stop your progress in any area of your life? To really be honest with yourself, you'll need to take off your love goggles. I mean, it's easier to cloud your perception and maintain the status quo by justifying and keep saying to yourself that everything's really okay. It's not that bad. I mean, there are good days and bad days with everyone. You can justify like this for a long time. This does not allow an objective look at ourselves, and it's negative for our partners too. You must be able to accept things as they are if you want to move forward. This feeling that if you stay, you'll be able to change the other, That definitely needs an expiry date. Decide for yourself, how long is it worth continuing? Accept that you can never change another unless they want to. What you can change is yourself and your decision. Another thing is to be aware of that can be a real impediment to moving towards letting go is a feeling of guilt or shame, like punishing yourself for what happened. But what's necessary is to understand that there is a lesson in every situation in life. Every person who comes into our life can teach us something. Even if the lesson is not to do the same thing the same way again. Remember, this life is for learning. And lessons are repeated over and over until they are learned. Forgiveness is the desired residue of releasing feelings of guilt and blame. Yes, forgiveness. It's difficult. That is the answer, though. Letting go of the resentment allows compassion and empathy to positively affect your life as well. Be willing to forgive yourself and the other for anything that has happened in the past. Because you can no longer change it. You can only move forward and learn from it. Forgiveness brings self-compassion, so learn to practice it. Moving on can be a big and scary step, so be gentle with yourself as you heal and create a new life after this relationship. And what this amounts to is to most importantly work on your relationship with yourself. Cultivating self-love, self-respect, that is paramount. Remind yourself that you deserve a healthy and loving relationship. This may be the time to rewrite your story. Your story is what you tell yourself consistently. So imagine your life script and rewrite it in a more empowering way to start making positive changes in your life. If you continually tell yourself that you've lost and are destined to be alone, then you'll be struggling to hold on to a relationship that is no longer serving you. Reframe your story and consider the fact that this relationship may have been one step on the journey towards an even better life in the future. Everything, friends, family, all connections come and eventually go. When it comes time for something to end, rather than clinging to what no longer is, we must realize that impermanence is the nature of life and do your best to embrace it. Appreciate the good